Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Live, or put a metaphor in your toolbox. And let me get this on. Darn. There we go. Okay. We're working our way through the 4th of July weekend, and we're taking a new look at the Declaration of Independence. I talked about that last night at Martini Live. And the Declaration of Independence is a metaphor in that it points in two opposite directions, has two opposite or contradictory references. Now, the 4th of July as a holiday, a celebration that we all think is the only 4th of July, is the objective view, in the sense that it's in time, in the sense that the 4th is a Declaration of Independence, a birthday that happened in 1776. And so now we celebrate that birthday every year. That's an objective view. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what we do when we celebrate a birthday. Even the universe has a birthday, the Big Bang. So we celebrate a birthday of an event that happens in time. But the subjective view of the Declaration of Independence points to you and me. And now, the present moment. Here is where the real Declaration of Independence happens. Not in time, but now. So when you declare your independence subjectively from the inside, like a shout, you're declaring your independence from time. And that's a whole new way of being in the world. And Tolle, this is the whole point of Tolle's teaching. Eckhart Tolle and the other transcendentalist teachers like Krishnamurti, all the big yoga gurus, all the Buddhist teachings, Zen, the transcendental way is the timeless way, and it points to presence, or now. Be here now, you see. It points to now. But now is not in time. You can't catch it. It's always now. It's not like, oh, now just passed, there it was, or now it's coming, now it's coming. No, it's not past or future. Now is always eternally now. So now is not in time. Let's listen to a Tolle quote, and then we'll kind of like pull this cotton ball apart. So, Tolle's quote for today, Eckhart Tolle. I pull these quotes out of a little box of quotes, and every day I pull one up, and I don't know what it's going to say. And so I just respond to it creatively, and it gives me energy for my talk. It gives me presence. Okay. When you are present, when your attention is fully in the now, presence will flow into you and transform what you do. There will be a quality and a power in it. You are present when what you're doing is not primarily a means to an end. Money, prestige, winning, but fulfilling in itself. When there is joy and aliveness in what you do. Now that describes a lot of things that we are familiar with in our life. If you have an art or a music or a dance or any art, you know what this means. Or if you have any hobby or practice where you use it as a refuge from the world of time. And when you do it, you are restored. You are replenished. You are at home. you feel free. See, and we always associate this with a place. I go to the beach or the mountains. That like the vacation weekends are basically in our time-based culture, providing the illusion of timelessness. We go to the beach. Why? The beach is a metaphor or a place of timelessness. The waves coming in, shh, the waves going out, shh. Whenever you go to the beach, it's always now, always the same. It's not like the beach changes spontaneously. On a whim, it can change. So we love to sit at the ocean and just be with the presence of the ocean, this great being, this great ocean. We just want to sit there with it, you see. And back on the street, back in the town, the cars are going, the time is rushing by, and everything is a means to an end. We all live for the future. But at the beach, it's just now. Or go to the mountains. It's just now, you see. So these vacations are also meditations. These vacations in our culture are spiritual retreats. These vacations in our time-bound culture, in our frantic treadmill culture of chasing the future, these are little moments of respite. National parks offer little islands, little oases of escape and respite from time. Excuse me. and civilization. You get the idea? New York City has a big national, no, it's not a national, it's a city park right in the middle where people can go and escape the traffic of time and the rush of time that surrounds it, like the winds of a hurricane surround the eye of peace, you see. So this eye, in the middle of the winds of time, is timeless. And Tolle calls it presence. When your intention is fully in the now and presence are about the same thing, presence will flow into and transform what you do. So there's a certain surrender to presence. There's no surrender in the treadmill of the city of time. In other words, the treadmill is taking us. We're just trying to keep up with it. It's almost like in the modern world there's this that the world is rushing and we have to run now. People jog. What is that? Everybody's running to catch up to the world, and somebody's turning the treadmill up. It's going a little faster. I got to go faster. A little faster now. A little faster now. A little faster now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So, so if you're conservative, you're putting one foot on the floor, trying to slow it down. You see? Slow it down, you see. So this whole idea of presence, which if you listen to Tolle's talks, and any transcendental teacher, now by transcendental teacher, I include a lot there. The Christian mystics, some of the ancient Greeks, there's some transcendental teaching in all religions, Sufism, Jewish Kabbalah, Christian mystics in the Middle Ages, yoga, Buddhism, the transcendentalists in American literature. I remember when I took American literature, I loved the transcendentalists. Emerson, Thoreau, Walt Whitman. Oh, Walt Whitman. Transcendentalist, where they're pointing to something, but they're not pointing to something in the future. They're pointing to now. So now transcends time. And time is the way we experience the world in our civilization. Everything is experienced as something in time that is getting better or worse, or could be better. If you go into a room, have a meal, and you say, well, the potatoes could have been better. So you're not really being present with what's given. You're calculating, you're judging, you're imagining a better potato. And now the one you're eating is lacking. It misses something. It could be better. And if it's just right, it's just right. Well, then we want to reproduce it. So can I have the recipe for that? How did you do that? I want to reproduce it. I want to maintain it, you see. So next time you have it's not a little bit off, you see. So anyway, I mean, this is, you can just notice the way we live in the world is it's not just right. If something's missing, it could be better. Let me fix that. Let's get this. Let's bring a little order to this room, like in the Big Bang with Penny's bedroom, Penny's apartment, and what's his name? I can't even think of his name now. Bazinga comes in and wants to bring order to it. You see. That's a good, Big Bang is a good example of the contrasts in the way of being in the world between Penny and the boys, you see. But anyway, we'll get into Big Bang another day. So anyway, we're looking at presence, and we're looking at presence as a stop sign to the future. My favorite all-time wisdom quote of my mother when she was 100. And she said, "You want to know why I'm so happy?" And she was very happy, still driving. And I said, "Why, Mom?" And she said, "Because I have no future." Big pause. When I was younger, I had a future and I wasn't so happy. But now I'm just here and I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. And she was. And so she lived to be 102. Happy right up to the end. So this whole idea of presence that Tolle's talking about, the now, where is the now? I thought I was now. Aren't you now? No. Now doesn't feel like now. Anyway, the now and presence is, in Zen, it's called one taste. One taste, not two tastes. Not this taste could be better. I can imagine a better taste. You see, just one taste, just what's given, just this, you see, is presence. And so when you come to the wall of presence and you just stop, future falls off. Why? Because presence, as Tolle said, is when what you're doing is not primarily a means to an end. And the end is future. And what you're doing is what you're going to do to get to it. Where the soup will taste better. Where you can get to vacation and rest from trying to get to vacation. But movies are full of the vacation where you go on vacation and it's just creating a whole new batch of stress. And you're almost glad to come back home, because I remember when I worked for the Courier Record, and so we had 2 vacations a year, but we had to do 2 paper. We had to put out an extra paper in order to have a week off and not put out a paper. So we had to work doubly hard to get out 2 papers so we could have a vacation from doing 1 paper. And it was almost not worth it. but this whole idea of our whole life being, it's kind of like a skipping rock. You know when you throw a skipping rock on the pond and it goes skip, 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 skip? That's kind of like our life with vacations. Oh, we got a vacation at the 4th. Oh, the Labor Day, skip. You see. So, so we look at life, and the weekend is kind of like Thank God it's Friday. The weekend is kind of like a mini vacation. Thank God it's Friday. It's Saturday. It's Sunday. I'm on vacation. I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to lie here. Just going to lie here and binge on movies. Monday. Oh God, it's Monday again. And then Monday is measured. Monday, hump day. Oh, halfway through. Friday. Thank God it's Friday. See, our whole life is measured by the illusion of attaining presence when we can be free from time. So the world is time. Sunday is, for people who are religious, is a refuge from time. Church is like the ocean with its tides. You go to church, the same hymns, the same sermons, yada, 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 yada. You may not, the words may change, but the rhythm is the same. The songs may differ a little bit, but it's the same. So there's no purpose. There's no, the church is it's kind of like the ocean when you just, I'm just here in this timeless pace. So for the religious, the church service is a ritual of timelessness because it goes all the way back, and you can trace it all the way back to the events in the church service can be traced all the way back to Jesus, you see. Back to the founder or the one who was present. So all these transcendental teachers, and Jesus is a transcendental teacher in one way, may not be in your way, but he's teaching transcendence from time, from history, through demonstrating it himself. So Christ demonstrates in his being liberation or a declaration of independence from time. He would say it in so many words. I didn't come to, what did he say about the law? I came to fulfill the law. Well, the law is time. So Christ is saying, I'm fulfilling time by being time, by ending time. Time's quest for the promised land. Time's quest for a better tomorrow. Time's quest for a better future. Stops now, you see, with Christ. Now. Oh, this is Sunday. I might as well talk about Christ. Since I brought him up, I love talking about Christ because of the transcendental teaching of Christ. So I don't look at Christ in the same way other people do. So I look at Buddha and Christ as being transcendental teachers of presence. They embody the timeless presence, each in their own culture. All religions begin with some founder who embodies in their life story and in their words presence. So the teachings, so church in a way is like a refuge from the world. And a lot of the problems in today are, with religion, is the realizing and the sense and the feeling that the world is lost in time and that the world is a treadmill going nowhere. So one has to bring presence to it, you see. So put God in the courthouses, put the God in the parks, put God back in the school, put presence back in the world, you see. That's kind of like the basic method here, but it misses the mark. Because you can't catch presence and bottle it and then stick it somewhere. You see what I mean? You can't catch presence because it doesn't exist. You can't give it to anybody because it doesn't exist. You can't bottle it, you can't package it, you can't sell it, and you can't convert anybody to it. You can't make anybody be present. All that is means to an end. All that is not presence. See, presence has no means, no end. So if my end is to save you, that's not presence. If my end is to make society religious and at peace and loving and compassionate, that's not presence. That's a means to an end. The end is to make everybody like me. Or the end is to make everybody love God. The means to an end is back, and you're back in time. There's no difference. So any effort to make myself or someone else present and fulfilled and now is not presence. So if your time, that's in time. If anything has a reference to future, it's not present. It's reference to future. So it's a means to an end. And that exhausts us. That's where we're so stressed out. That's why we're so depressed, so weary. That's why we take drugs. Drugs is a little portable vacation from time. Drugs is a portable transcendence. I transcends the stress. Give me a martini. You see what I mean? So these are artificial vacations from the stress of time. And then, of course, we get addicted to that, just like we get addicted to vacations. So anything that gives us temporary relief from the stress of time is going to be addicted. Addiction, you see. And it becomes a mean to an end. I got to take this drug as a means to get out of the stress of not being present. So when I'm not present, I'm stressed. And now I got to do something in order to get rid of the pain of the stress that is caused by not being present. So I just kicked the can down the road. And our whole economy, consumer economy, is based on selling us stuff to give us a refuge from the stress of not being present. When you're present, you don't need anything. When you're present, you're in a state of play. You ever thought about that? Look at children. They're present. What do? They play. Look at animals. They're present. What do? They play. Cats will play with a mouse. Squirrels play with a dog, run around the tree. YouTube is full of animals at play. We used to think animals were machines, blind, struggle for survival, just blind, machine-like robots. Nature's dead. Nature's just a machine, evolved by chance, you see. This is a dead view of the world. This is a mechanistic view of the world in which everything's just a machine, caused by freak accidents, mutations, and chance, you see. But what is the intention of the cosmos? But to play. That's the Hindu view of God, is that the world is play, Leela. It's God's play. God's playing in the world. That's why Shakespeare said the world is a stage. What does that mean? That's a metaphor, by the way. It's not a real stage. It's a metaphorical stage, but it's like a stage. It is a stage. This is where the metaphor is not like a simile. It's not like a stage. World is stage. But stage has two meanings. One points to a real stage. The other one points to something you have to discover. So anyway, the world is a stage means that the world is a play. And so when we go see, and a movie is a play, by the way, it's just on film. So theater is play. So theater is not future orientated, because you don't go to a movie to get something in the future. You go to a movie to enjoy presence, to enjoy the now of the movie. Or music is presence. We don't listen to music in order to get something. We listen to music because music is presence that fulfills itself, you see. So this presence is everywhere, but it's created usually for us by art. Art creates presence. Drugs create presence, the illusion of presence. So everywhere we go, there are the means to being present, but they don't last because these means are in time. So the movie ends, and you come back to the street, and you come back to time, and you got to go. You got a meeting, or I got to fix something. I got to make it better. I got to make the world better. You see, I got to save the world. I got to save myself. Future orientated. What happens if you give it up? See, here's the problem. People think, oh, if I give up future, I give up meaning. Well, yes and no. When you listen to music, you give up future. Is there no meaning? When you read a novel, you give up future in the sense that you're just going to read the novel and be present in the novel. Is there no meaning? You see? So we really, this idea of future is where the meaning is. Future is where the better life is. Even eternal life is put in the future. Well, if you want eternal life, you got to die. If you want timelessness, you got to die. Then you'll be in heaven, and that's timeless. Hey. But now we're in time, and that's hell. People die. Where'd they go? They went to a better place. When Ramana Maharshi died, was about to die, he said, there's no place to go. There's no place to go. Yes, there is no better place. There's this one taste, you see. It's always one taste. Even when you're dead, it's one taste. Even when you're dead, you're still here. The now never disappears. The now is always now. You see. So everything, the past and the future, is now. This is the liberation from time. When you're now, you're not determined by the past. You give meaning to the past. You're not determined by having to get somewhere in the future. You give meaning to the future. It's all now. When we live outside of time, when we live in time, let me get here. I drew this yesterday. Okay, past, future, right? Now. Past goes along like here. I'm now. When I live in time, which is our civilization, a time civilization, a future-orientated civilization, that's the way it works. That's the operating system. We have to get used to it, understand it. The past determines now. If my father screwed me up, I'm screwed up because he did it. If conditions are harmful to my expectations, I'm caused by the conditions, which are past. So all pain, all suffering, is reference to the past and to the future when I'll get out of it. You get that? The pain is caused by the past. Even if somebody just gave you a slight and looked at you crazy and gave you a pain, the pain is always, it's already past. The pain is reference to the past. He did it. And now I got to get rid of that pain here, where at some point I'm going to go smack him. You see how that works? Now we watched the conclusion of a great British mystery called Shetland. And we've been addicted to these British mysteries. That's our refuge. That's our refuge from time. And so, but there's one thing about the British mysteries, all mysteries, but the British are really good at it, in that the cause of the crime, the murder, is by some secret grievance that can't be detected by the inspector detective, you see. He misses the clue because it's secret. It's a personal grievance. How did he know? How does he know that this person 30 years ago was abandoned by this mother, and they have a grievance and they want to go back and kill this person. So the murder pops up in the now, caused by some grievance or pain body, some buried pain, you see, some ghost in somebody's past that is causing their future. And so they try to get rid of the ghost by restoring justice and bringing hell to the person who caused the pain. And that's why they always say, I had no choice. In other words, they want to bring, in the mystery and in life, we want to bring life to ground zero, which is justice, which is balance, which is peace, which is the ocean, which is the mountains, which is the desert, which is your vacation spot. Zero. Zero means not moving. Zero means nothing to add, nothing to take away. Zero means presence. So when you're present, when you're at play, you're at ground zero. You're not trying to get something out of it. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing it for any end. The means and the end are one. Zero. So a lot of these mysteries are entertaining. We're fascinated by it. We got to turn it on because we want to come to ground zero. We want to see who did it. So the tension of not knowing who did it, the tension of imbalance, not knowing, the tension of time is brought to an end. And the movie and the TV or the show or the mystery ends. Everything is restored to balance. Everything is okay. The killer got caught and will be punished. And the families that were broken reunite. And the lovers go off. And they can sit at the beach or sit at the river and rest, you see. So this whole idea of rest, zero, rest, is a goal in time in our culture. We're always trying to get to rest, get to the vacation, get to the time off. Oh boy, I get off at 4 o'clock today. I don't have to work till 5. Yay! Or I get a break today. Or I get to go. Can I have a coffee break? A coffee break. What's that? It's just like a mini trip to the beach. Go get a cup of coffee. Just for a moment, you're free from the stress of time. Just for a moment, you see. So we just pepper our life with these little secondary illusions, these little respites from the stress of time and future, from the tyranny of future. So what was the Declaration of Independence? Coming all the way back to where we started, was a historical moment where a people declared their independence from time. What was time? British history. British history. Its long history with the king as a transcendent symbol. See, the king in English history was a transcendent being. He was the God king. The God poured gold on the king, and wealth and riches, crown full of jewels, full of gold, gun, the sun god, you see. So the king is a mythic being. So America is a secular society. There is no king. In England, the king is head of the church. There is no head of the church. We're a secular society. So this was a Declaration of Independence, a break, a shout out from time and the tyranny of time, you see. And once you do that, you see, now you have to create yourself. Once you break free from time, you have to create yourself because you're not being created by time anymore. Now you have to take responsibility for yourself, you see, because no one else is responsible for you now. You've declared your independence. And you can't blame anybody anymore because your declaration of independence is from the declaration from the independence from the cause of your suffering. You see, the cause of our suffering, we think, is in time or the future. Oh, I got to go meet the boss. Oh my God, I'm really stressed out, you see. So my stress is being caused by my idea of the future. Or the boss just told me I was going to be fired. Now I'm stressed out. Now the past is the cause of my stress. So the present moment in our culture is constantly caused by, the pain of it is caused by the past or the future. So what happens if you break from that and you say, enough, I declare my independence? Well, that's a realization then that you are fundamentally and thoroughly and always already free from time because we are already always present. We're always now. So now fulfills itself as now. Now does not full itself by reference to the past or the future or argument with other people. Now is a land unto itself. And it is at rest because now is the whole cosmos, and the cosmos is always balanced. The cosmos is always ground zero. The cosmos always balances itself. The cosmos is like a kid on a bike who balances itself. If you go around the corner, you maintain balance. So the cosmos maintains balance no matter it's moving all the time. It's creating itself all the time, but it maintains balance. It maintains ground zero. It maintains rest. It maintains perfection. Here, you see. So you still keep the horizontal because you got to go to Walmart, you got to catch a bus, you got to go to work. But your being is now, and that's where you can rest. So you can be permanently at the beach. You see? So you get both. You get to work and have your vacation simultaneously. And that is play. Play is when you can work and be free from work at the same time. Play is where you can be serious and not serious at the same time. An actor in a play is seriously pretending to be something he is not. But he knows he's at play. So he really doesn't have a panic attack when somebody in the play pulls a gun. It's a pretend gun. It's all play. So now is the realization that life is fundamentally play. And you're okay. Because at play, you're always already okay. You're always already okay when you're at play and when you are present. So, happy Sunday, and I'll see you this evening.